The Backyardigans. Hi T. This episode is basically just about Tasha and everybody else pretty much going to go get the perfect cup of tea. Why not? Let's do a Backyardigans related review. Because I feel like I should, especially now that I've announced I'm going to be moving on from everything wrong list for the time being and focusing more on reviews and other projects I really like doing on YouTube. But this episode was originally my most hated episode from this show before I watched Robot Rampage. It's still meh, but it's not really as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. I rewatched this earlier today. It actually wasn't bad. Like I said, it was still meh, but it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen, by any means. Why is it meh though? Well, it's just kind of boring. It's actually hilarious because the characters at the very beginning of this episode are saying, what, we're gonna go make tea? That's not really that exciting. That's not really that fun. Yes, I understand the moral's supposed to be like, oh, anything can be exciting. But you know, it could work if, like, you actually made it exciting. I mean, this episode has a few songs, this episode has, you know, some cool, I guess, set pieces. But nothing insane, nothing that all applaud. If anything, they seem kind of shoehorned in. I would say the episode's saving grace from it being bad is definitely the Austin bit at the very middle point of this episode. Probably the one scene I quote the most from this show. I don't think it's the joke, the knock-knock joke about the orange. I don't think it's that. I think it's how Austin reacts to that that makes it so much more awesome. The joke is stupid, but the way Austin just delivers the orange line is just so good. It really sells it. It's a really funny thing. And I love it whenever the show, like, actually makes something, like those moments where you have two characters just talking. It's something that I kind of wish this show did more of. Like, even the beginning part with, like, Tyrone and Pablo and Uniqua going back and forth, it was like, well, this is actually kind of like, it doesn't feel like they're setting up something. It feels like they're actually just talking. It doesn't really feel like they're setting up something. But of course, usually it's just them setting up something, and you can clearly tell it's them setting up something. But yeah, also, I did mention that Tasha is inside this episode. Of course, probably everybody knows this by now, I'm sure. If you're a big fan of this show, you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. Tasha is just not likable in this episode. She just seems way too direct. She comes off as arrogant, she comes off as egotistical. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. I don't feel like you should write a character for this type of show like that. Like, you can make her kind of somewhat sophisticated, and you can make her kind of somewhat there, but, like, you could at least make it seem like she's okay with whatever's going on, or she's, I guess, enthusiastic about what's going on. Because you have, like, Tyrone, Pablo, and Uniqua cracking jokes in the background, and you have Tasha who's just like, oh, come along, please. I want to make some damn tea. It's the weirdest shit. But anyways, yeah, that's basically the gist of it. This episode's kind of average. It's not really that bad, but it's also not really that great either. It's in the middle. But anyways, guys, I'll go and see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.